Hi everyone, so welcome back. Yeah, it's basically a Rocket League video talking about a bit more trading, benefits, and various things to, of course, help you guys out. So I did a video a couple of days ago that talked about it in some depth, but I wanted to follow that on with some other things that I've picked up and some other things that I wanted to add, because, you know, to try and do it all in one video is just literally impossible. I would ask, though, that if you do find this information actually handy, please do actually just leave a like on the video, because it really helps. I noticed that was one thing that just didn't happen with the other one, that people watched it, but no one liked the video, and I hope that the content would be actually decent enough to warrant a like. Whether you want to subscribe or not is entirely up to you. I'm getting closer to the journey of 150, and I will be doing some sort of giveaway once I hit that 150, so, you know, get subscribing and you're in with a chance. Right, anyway, let's get on with the content itself. Okay, so some useful tips and beneficial techniques when you are trading. So focus on items that are popular and that will sell. Usually what I do is I focus on the following. So what I do is I categorize kind of what I'm going to look at and try and sell, and I'm going to then actually just focus on a few things rather than multiple, because otherwise it gets a bit confusing. So for example, for me, I usually focus on wheels, toppers, decals, and goal explosions. Now, that doesn't mean to say that you can't focus on cars, antennas, and all the other things, trails, all that stuff, but it's just that, you know, it's easier to be focused on maybe a few lesser things rather than multiple, because otherwise it just gets often too confusing. Now, often what I will do is I will search a specific item, so for example, wheels. I will look at the general prices, try and to know roughly what's being asked. Obviously, some I'm going to know better than others, and if you have another reference point, or you can use a Rocket League Trader, it never hurts if you're using the app. If you are, you know, trading with people in game, again, just have an idea of the kind of prices, just so to make sure that you don't overpay. And if you can get a good deal without totally ripping off the other person, then happy days. There is no actual harm in that. Now, what I will do is that I will always, if I'm using the app, I will search colours. So, say for wheels, we will know that crimson, black, sky blue, and titanium white are the most popular. And it never hurts to check those out in case of a bargain, because you never know. Sometimes people sell some of those colours for pretty cheap. Maybe not so much titanium white, but the other colours especially, and it's well worth bearing in mind. That can be good. But what I also do is I check out other colours as well, because although they're lesser popular, they are still a demand for them to a degree, and there are always people out there that do actually like these colours. Now, something that I've noticed, things like purple. I personally really am a fan of the colour purple. I think it goes well in a lot of decals and colours on the car, and I don't think I'm actually the only one to kind of look at that. Forest green is very popular. I know a friend of mine really likes forest green. Actually, I do as well. I just don't really use it. Orange, I'm a big fan of, as you can probably see on the car, because I like that fiery kind of effect. And cobalt, which is a kind of just darker version of sky blue, of course, but again, it is a pretty good colour in certain cases, and it's well worth sort of keeping an eye out for those kind of things. Now, we all have to say that the Rocket League Garage app can be a bit slow at times, but when it works, it can be quite useful. And if you're trading in game, well, again, people can be a little bit slow, or they can be a bit ponderous, and it can be a bit of a nightmare. So just bear in mind that, you know, just try and kind of quickly gain an idea as to whether it's worth even trying to get anything off this person. If it's not, don't waste your time with them. Just say, I'm okay, thank you, and get out of there and kind of deal with someone else, or someone else on the app, of course. Now, what I often will do is that I'll look at, in general, at the prices, try and get an idea of what the common prices are. So, for example, with, say, wheels, all right, okay, most of them are going for 400. What I'll do then is I'll search again, and I'll use a lower value box. In the app itself, there's a lower value item, kind of like box that you can actually search for less. So if you know that everything's going for 400, but you want to then search for sort of 350 and under, you can type the value. It's down in the bottom right hand side. Literally, you scroll down the app, down the painted, all the stuff, and actually it's down there. And it's really handy, because again, it just narrows the search down. It means you've got to scroll through pages and pages and pages, and you can always kind of just get an idea and, you know, perhaps get yourself a really good bargain there. Now, bear in mind that each platform does seem to have varying prices, so just make sure you're searching the right one that you can trade on. Fairly obvious, but you'd be surprised if you're new to the trading app as well, you might not realise that you have to actually kind of search it, so just bear that in mind. So something else that I tend to do as well is I'll always message sellers under the value of the item, asking if they still have the item. So sometimes they have listed items that have been on there for like 5-6 days, but they've never refreshed it. They've just forgotten to refresh it, but they haven't actually sold it because it's so far back. People haven't actually seen it, and you know, people don't really kind of look that far back a lot of the time. You'd be surprised actually how many people have just not sold it, refreshed, not forgotten to refresh, and actually they reply. Now, I'd never write a long message. I would always stay very clear of writing long, drawn-out messages unless it is a big trade. Just kind of stick to a very small message. They've either got the item or they haven't. Don't waste your time too much with it, because time is a big factor when you're trading. You know, obviously you can only check when you're able. You know, if it's between work, in breaks, when traveling, whatever it is, just make sure that you're checking it when you're able. And of course, you know, if you are doing a trade, just make sure that you arrange a time with them and say, look, I'll definitely do the trade. Just hang on for a couple of hours. I will be back and I'll do it then. Most people will be okay. You're always going to get those few people that won't, but there's not a lot you can do with that. Now, also, sometimes you'll find that they don't actually add the certification, and you can actually get a bargain item with the certification for less than normal just by looking. Something I had is a Cobalt Sub-Zero painted, and that had Goalkeeper cert on it, and I managed to make 850 profit because I just wasn't using it, and I decided to sell it, and I actually made some money because someone was wanting that particular cert. So bear in mind that, you know, sometimes you can drop them and they can be good, and you'll see some examples in future videos that I'll be posting. Okay, so the last thing for this particular video is that usually I will also check their other trades, see if there's any other bargains, because, you know, sometimes if someone's selling one item underpriced, they might be selling more, and you might be able to get a little bit of a profit. I'd always recommend as well to be polite and courteous, because you just might deal with them again, and if it's a good experience for both of you, then you might be able to trade and actually say, oh, do you know what, we dealt with each other a couple of weeks back, yeah, you want to trade? And they're like a bit more likely to possibly trade with you because they dealt with you before, and you might be like, oh, do you know what, would you do me a little bit of a deal because I bought something already off you? And they just might say yes. They might say no, but hey, it's always worth a try, and it goes a long way. Even I usually write a little message just after saying thanks for the easy trade, really appreciate it, have a great day. That's optional, you don't have to do it, but at the end of it, it's well worth doing. Lastly then is if the price is considerably lower than everyone else's, it's not the best move trying to lower it even further, as it might lose you the sale, and sometimes for 40 credits or 30 credits or whatever it just is not worth it. If, however, a price is similar to everyone else's and they haven't said it's the final price, then try to barter, but stray away from the lowballing too much, as it is just frustrating and usually it won't get you the sale. That is pretty much it, I think, for this particular video. I'm going to be doing more in the future. Obviously, I'll be doing some other trades, some various challenges, some other various bits that hopefully will be beneficial and enjoyable. If you found this video helpful, like I said before at the start, please do drop me a like. It would be really amazing. If you want to subscribe, do so. I really appreciate it, but you only have to do exactly what you feel like doing, as you well know. But that is it for this particular video. Thank you very much for watching. It's been Dracula44. I'll see you in the next video. You take care. Cheers now. Bye.